Hey everyone, Mr. Roman here. I wanted to go over some important parts of this mini project that you're going to create, which will be the last thing that you would do for this year for me. It's basically a virtual digital brochure. It won't be too complicated, it won't be too long, but it is going to require a little bit of research, and hopefully you will learn something and also learn some cool tricks and things to do on Google Slides that I think might be helpful in your future school lives and adult lives in terms of presenting and just knowing how to navigate the internet. So please, one of the first things I want you to do is I want to make sure that you are always going into the file through the view assignment thing so that you can see all the instructions. When you read the instructions, you will notice that one of the first things that you have to do to start this project is you have to pick a country. So the way you're going to pick a country is you're going to go into this link here that says list of African countries. You will see a huge list, okay? As long as the countries are in green, you can choose them. So you're going to go through this list. If you want to preview the list a little bit, I actually give you a link on top here. And this gives you a little bit of background, and maybe a picture of a large city in each of the countries. It tells you how big they are, where they're located. Also, if you ever need a picture, this is a good place to go for it, and I'll come back to that. So this is just a place you can start. So once you figure out which country you want, you're going to leave me a private comment here because I'm going to make sure that everyone gets a different country. So once you pick a country, let's just say you want Kenya, you will say, hey, can I have Kenya? And you're going to send that to me. And then I, as a teacher, I will open it up and I will see that you sent me a message. Hey, can I have Kenya? I'm going to respond, sure. It's all yours. You may begin. So when you get that message from me that I've approved your country, then you can begin working. So that's really the first step that I need you to do is finding a country from the list. It's finding a country from the list and then choosing it and then sending me a private comment over here so that I can confirm it. You will read the rest of the instructions, but I wanted to go over some basic things for you. So if you go to example slides, okay, I'm going to open that, and then you also see a master outline. So these two documents are important. This one just gives you a sample of how you can make the brochure look like. So for today, we're just going to focus on 4 slides. Our title slide where you have the flag and the title of the name of your country and a title. A slide where you show where your country is, whether it's in the continent or in the entire world. You're going to tell me what your country is bordered by, including if there's any natural features like lakes or seas or mountains that border it. And then you're going to tell me what people in your country speak. So I just did an example for the country of Ukraine, which is where I was born, so you can hear about how that works, okay? And then this master outline thing is very important. So I'm going to update this as we go through the days, but for today you only have 4 slides to worry about. I give you a little bit of information about what belongs on each slide here. These 4 slides are basically just kind of like a skeleton or kind of like behind the scenes of what I'm expecting and what you see here. And then at the very end is a very important slide, which a bunch of links, okay? So this link right here, CAA Factbook, is going to be one of your starting points. So if I click this link, CAA Factbook, I'm going to get to this site, and it's basically like an encyclopedia of every single country in the world. And you see the flag, you see a map of where your country is located. There is some travel facts. If you want to see some photos, you can open up this link and you'll see some photos of Ukraine, and you can kind of like go through it if you'd like. There's photos, there's travel facts, and on the bottom is going to be some important information. Particularly for today, we're going to use the People and Society tab to look some key information over. But I just wanted to make sure that you saw this before you go too far. See, I already kind of opened up too many tabs, and now this is all very, very complicated. I might have to see now one somewhere else. Okay, so back here. Now, how are you gonna find your country? Well, on the top right here, please select the country to view, and you click this drop-down list. And this list here contains every single country in the world. You will need to use this. I don't want you to use Wikipedia unless I tell you to. I don't want you to use other internet sites until I tell you to. Everything that you need to do for this first part is here. So I want you to use this World Factbook. The second link is Wikitongues, which I'll get to later, but Wikitongues is just basically a site, like a database, where you can explore what different languages sound like. So your task for today is to create 4 introduction slides. One about the title and the flag, one about where is the country that you're located, what borders your country, and what are people speaking in your country. Okay? So the way you're going to do this, you're actually going to create your own slideshow. Before I've been leaving you copies, this time you're going to create your own slideshow. So over here where it says your work, you're actually going to add or create, and you're going to create slides. And it's going to open up a brand new slideshow for you. And the first thing I want you to do is I actually want you to go up top here, and if you can't see this menu, there is an arrow here. So if you can't see the title and all these buttons and all these like file, edit, then you want to make sure you are dropping it down so you can see it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to just say your name and your country that you are working on. That's just going to be your title. Second step is you're going to create 4 slides. So we have 4 slides in this first part. There's 2 ways to create a slide. Either you can go to Insert and go down to where it says New Slide, and oops, that's not it. And go to Insert and then create New Slide, and keep on clicking it. Or if you notice, there is a shortcut next to it, Control M. So if you want to not keep on using your mouse and you just want to go on your keyboard and press Control M, a new one pops up. Now, every slide is going to contain 2 text boxes. You can decide to get rid of them or add new ones. To get rid of them, you just click the edges where you see it highlight in blue and you can delete it. If you want to undo it, you go up here with the undo button. If you want to make your own text box, on top here is a little box that has the word T in it. That's the text box. If you click it, it'll allow you to draw a new text box. Once you draw a text box, you have options. The most basic ones are you can change the size to whatever you want. You can change the color of the text. You can also change the background color of the text. You can also make it bold or italic. You can change the style and the font of the text. So you have lots of different options. One thing that might be practical for you is actually changing the background. I'm going to talk about that. So the first thing I want you to do is I actually want you to create a background slide that is just the flag of your country. So if you notice that for me, I just have the flag of Ukraine. Well, what is the flag? So you're going to go to your country, you're going to pick it from this menu, and you're going to open it up, and you'll see the flag. So you're going to click the flag, and then once you're there, you're going to need to use this image to put into your background. So the way that you do that is you're going to need to go over here where it says background. I don't see background anywhere. Well, what I can do is I'm going to click on an empty space. And once you click on an empty space, you see the word background pop up here. When you click background, it's going to give you options. You can either pick a color. You can pick an image. But we don't have an image yet. We have to put an image kind of into the computer's memory first. So since we know where the flag is and we opened it up, you're going to right click. So the right click of your keypad or of your mouse, you're going to right click it. And you're not going to write copy image. You're actually going to go to copy image address. And that's going to take the address of the kind of like the URL of the image. So you can do copy image address. And then when you go back to your slide and you click the back and you then go to background, now when you go to choose image, it gives you all these options. We got our image from URL, and this is going to be key for later. You're going to come here and you're going to right click and you're going to press paste. You can also press Control V. So I've now inserted that image, and now my background is going to be a nicely colored background because I did it not as an image copying and drag. I don't have to drag the corners. I just insert it into the background. Now I can't even move this thing. So I'm going to get rid of some of these text boxes. I'm going to make a title. You can create, I'm going to say virtual brochure Ukraine. You can call it what you want. If you want to change the colors, you can. I'm also going to make this a background. So the way I change a background is you click the text box, and over here on the left-hand side, you'll see a paint bucket. And you're going to click that paint bucket, and you can choose a color. I'm going to choose green. That looks kind of ugly. So what you can actually do is you can go back to that paint bucket, and if you go down to where it says custom, you can actually control kind of like the fade of the color. So I'm actually going to drag this down somewhere near the middle. And now it's going to look like that, which is a little bit nicer. And you can play around with that, and that's your title. So I need a flag, and I need a title of your country and a title of your slideshow. All right, slide 2. Where is blank? Okay, so you're going to create a title. So I know I'm going to have a title, so I'm going to say maybe location of Ukraine. That's going to be my title. Now I need to paste a map here. So you can have several options. You can either, all right, you can either go to this thing that I opened up to you earlier, and if let's just say you picked, if you picked Chad, for example, or if you picked Cameroon, you can actually click this image here, and it'll open up, and you're going to do a copy and paste. You're going to right-click it. You're going to do copy image. You're going to go back to your slide, and you're going to press paste. Now, that's a weird thing what's going on. What's happening? I can't see a picture. So if that happens, you can delete it. And you're actually going to go back to where this was. And instead of doing copy and paste, you're going to do copy image address. Same as last time. And now if you go to insert, you can go to insert image. And you're going to go by URL because that's the key. This is the key thing, URL is address. And you're going to copy, you're going to put that back in there. You're going to say insert, and there is your thing. Obviously, this is not Ukraine, but I'm just letting you know that's how you can do it. You can choose to do several images. You can put as many images if you want. If you also want to draw an arrow, you can go to insert, line, arrow, and if you want, you can draw an arrow to it. You can change that arrows by, you can flip it around like that if you need to. You can change the color of your arrow. You can change the thickness of your arrow. So you can play around how you want, okay? So that is how you do that slide, okay? Obviously this is not Ukraine, so I'm just gonna, for the sake of my mind, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna say copy image, and I'm gonna put it here, and that way you can see it. Now, if ever you want, if you're like dragging your thing, and if you're like, oh, my arrow is like behind the thing, well, you can right click it, or we can go to format. Oh no, you're just gonna right click it, and then you're gonna right click it, and then go down to where it says, why is my thing so, let's see. You're gonna go down to where it says wow, why is this hard? You're gonna right click, and then when it says order, you're gonna you're ordering where it's kind of like where you are on the slide. You're going to order and you're going to say bring to front. You want it to be in the very front, and that way when you drag it, it's going to stay on front of the image like that. Okay, so that's the location. Third slide is what? Third slide says slide 3, the countries that border your country includes a map from the fact book, and there's a link to a photo of a geographic feature if it applies. So if I go back to Ukraine, and all of your countries will also have it. So for example, if I chose like an African country like Cote d'Ivoire, I'll also see bordering countries. So you always see what are the bordering countries. So I'm going to go back to Ukraine. And I'm going to click this. I'm going to right click it. I'm going to do copy image. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to paste it. Here are my bordering countries. Here I'm going to create a thing. The title that says what it needs to say. Bordering countries. I can change the font if I want. If I want to select it, I can change the font, make it a little bit smaller. And then you're going to list all of the countries that border. So I'm not going to make that list now. But if one of your things is like a sea or an ocean, if you see that this is bordering your country, well, when you make your list and you write Black Sea, I do want you to show me a picture of it. So if you have an ocean that borders your country, whatever it might be, so you're going to go to Google Images now. You're going to type in whatever your thing is. For me, it's Black Sea. I'm going to go to Images. I'm going to find a picture of the Black Sea. In Google Images, what you're going to do is you're going to click it once. Then it's going to open up on the side panel. Then you're going to right click again, do copy image address. And then when you go back to your slide, you're going to highlight the thing that you want to show a new photograph of, because you're basically going to take it to another page. And you're going to go to this paperclip where it says hyperlink or insert link, and you're going to click that. It's going to tell you this is the text that you are going to send us a link to. You're going to paste that address that you copied, and now your thing will be a link so that when I click it, something else pops up. So in this slide, you are just going to tell me what borders your country and list the different countries as they appear on your map. Okay, so that's just how you would do it for yours. All right, but you would try to make it neat, and if you need to, you can always do stuff like that. Okay, so that is that slide. And again, if you want to change the background color, if you want to change this color, you can play around with it how you want. You can make it look as nice as you want. This is very basic. And then finally, our last slide is about showing the major languages of your country. I'm going to list the major languages spoken, indicating the percentage. I'm going to talk about that. And links to the Wikitongues video. So if you notice that in my slide, I say people in Ukraine speak. I wrote the 3 major languages. I made this one a little bit small because it's only 3%. And each of them has a link. So the way that you do that is, well, you'll make a little title slide and you'll say languages of, and you'll say whatever your country. So I'm doing Ukraine. And again, you can change the colors and the fonts and the backgrounds, how you want to do it. And then, so we have, how do I know what the languages are? Well, that's when you need your CIA fact book. So to come back to the fact book, then you're going to scroll down to where it says people and society, because we want to know about the people. So you click people and society. You're going to scroll down. We see population, we see nationality, we see ethnic groups, languages. Here are my languages. This one is only 2.9%, so if you don't want to include it, that's okay. But these are big ones here. I see Ukrainian is the official language, and then Russian is another popular language in Ukraine. So I'm going to make my list. I'm going to say Ukrainian. I'm going to write that it's the official language, and I'm going to say that it's 67%. And then I also know that there's Russian, and I also know that there's this minority language called Tatar. And if I want to make it smaller and make it red, I can. So those are my languages, but you're not done yet. What I want you to do in this slide is to show us what these languages sound like. So the way you can do that is two ways. You can either insert a video of people speaking that language, or you can link these to take us to a video. So in my slide, I didn't give you the video, I just made you a link. So what you're going to do is, you're going to first you need to find the video. So I gave you in the master slide a site called Wiki Tongues. Which tongue do you speak? That's another way of saying which language. So you're going to go to Wiki Tongues. You're going to open it up, and it's going to give you like this page, and then you're going to search within this page for what you want to do. You're not going to search up top here. You're going to search in the channel page. So I'm going to type in Ukrainian. I'm going to get a couple of people speaking. I see a bunch of people speaking Ukrainian. Make sure you pay attention to the titles. So I'm going to click this video. Okay. And I don't need to re-watch it. I do need to wait till it loads. And once it loads, I'm going to pause it. This is basically what it sounds like.
Зважаючи на те, що по, так сказати, етнічній характеристиці вони не росіяни, ці люди. Ось тому у нас дуже багато людей розмовляють російською.
So that's what Ukrainian sounds like. So I want to show that. So the link, the URL up top is your kind of magical key for everything. So if you click this, or if you highlight it, however you want to do it, you're going to take it all. You're going to copy it. So you're going to right click and you're going to press copy. And then you can do one of two things. If you want to insert a video, you go to insert video. It's the URL. You can paste that, what you just copied, and you can press select. This like extra features pops up if you want to play around with it, but you don't really need it. And you can now change the size, and you can add 3 different videos of your language. Okay? If you don't want to do a video, if you think that does not look nice, if you want to just hyperlink it, well, it's the same process. What do? You highlight the word that you want to link. You're now going to go to this thing here. So we see the font, the color, the size. And over here, this paper clip, that's their key thing here. We click that paper clip. We click this. We highlight Ukrainian. We click the paper clip. We're going to paste that same link. We're going to press apply. And now Ukrainian is also going to take us to that video. And you're going to do it for each language. That's all you're going to do for this phase 1. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment or comment to my Google Classroom. But I wanted to give you kind of a setup for the first part of your